All right, I'm going to go through the first one of these. This is assignment 4. I'm probably going to have a couple more short sections on what you need to do to build this out. I'm actually in the file. It's in the assignment. If I can get my caps key off. And it's in the file A04-server.py. Most likely up at the very first line, I've got line numbers turned on. You have to change one of these first lines to match with where your Python is on your system. Most likely you need line 2. And the first one of these is to do a select. And my suggestion here is to use run select. You'll see here's an example of using run select up here in get config that pulls back the configuration. Use run select and select it from a view, but you've got to build the view. So basically, if we just take those two lines and copy them down here, we'll comment that out, and we'll change this to whatever the view name is we choose to have. I think the iIssue statement SV. You can pick a different name. That's a horrible name. iIssue list view. Is a better name. Now let's go build this view, and that's the key to this, because probably, the two lines are not going to have any errors in it. It's going to be a question of what we have in the view and testing the view. So that's probably going to finish this one. Okay, in the Python code, let's go look at the view. Issue list view.sql. Or replace view as select something, and we know that it's going to have iIssue in it as T1. Now, we're going to have to think about what else goes in here, but we've got some stuff. But basically, if we did select star from that is enough for us to at least build the view the first time. We know it's going to be wrong, but you don't have to get it right on the first try. You have to get it to load on the first try. So let's go ahead and give that one a try. And let's see what we've got. All right, here on my Linux system, PSQL, and let's run this I. Okay, I did an I in a tab, and it did create view. Now, I know the view isn't right yet, but at least I've gotten to the point where the view is, it loaded. Okay, I could probably run the Python code at this point, and I'd get a set of issues. Now, there's some things that I want to add to the view to make it work the way I want it to work, but at least, you could run the Python, you could use wget, you could access that particular thing in your API and pull back the data, and you'd get data. And the data wouldn't have everything you need in it, but you could at least see it run. So given that I've got that view now we can look at what's supposed to be in that view. Now, what I'd really like to have in that view is I'd like to have some joins. Join iState, because I'd like to have not just the state ID, but the actual state name when I return that view. So as T2 on T2.id equals T1.state ID, I think, if I remember correctly. And we want to join the severity as well. So that probably gets me the joins that I need, and I'd really like these things to come out in a certain order. So we're going to have an order by, and let's go. The severities are set up in numeric order from most severe to, or from least severe to most severe numerically by ID. That's why it used a numeric value. So T1.severity. ID descending, and T2 dot, well, after the severity, I really want to see what's new, so let's do updated, descending T1 dot created. And I have typed the wrong table in here. This really should be 1. All right. Now, I don't want everything from these tables, especially since a couple of those have columns named ID. So I'm actually going to have to list out the different things. So T1.ID, that's the issue ID. T1.title, T1.body, T2.state, T1.stateID, okay, comma T3.severity, and boy, I hope I'm not making a typo in those. I may have to, if I get an error, I'll just go look up what's in the table and make certain I got the right thing. T1.severityID, okay, I misspelled severity here somewhere. Okay, and I want the updated because it's in the sort. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the column in there. T1.created. Again, that's because I'm doing it in the order by I have to have it. And the last thing I want in there is so that I can do the word search based on this later. I want T1.words. And I may want to create separate views for other things that don't have the T1.words because that TS vector is usually pretty long in each thing. But this allows me to do the word searches for individual words in that and root words on the view itself by including the words. That's where the TS vector is stored. Okay, so let's recreate this thing. And okay, I have to add this drop view if exists up here because when I replace the select star, it changes the order of the columns. And a view creates a data type in Postgres. So you can't just change that data type, so it's going to drop it and then create it. And now when we go into PSQL, we will do I and create this view. And it dropped it, it created it. Select star from I view list view. It's issue list view. Okay. And we get back some data, and it has the different columns in it I think I need. In any case, if the Python is wrong, it's not going to be because there's some error in 2 lines of Python. It's because I haven't set up the view right, which means I get to do my testing at the database level on the view itself and poke into the view. And once I get to that point, you know, it's kind of like that piece of Python code is good to go. And the whole thing is what's happening in the database.